Hey, audio friends from around the world. Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. You ever mix rock guitars, find yourself needing to get them to have more clarity, more width? You doubled a bunch of electric guitars, overdriven guitars, and you're hoping to get that fat, wide, massive, aggressive sound, but it just sounds mushy. It just sounds cluttered. It sounds muddy. Not a lot of definition. When you get to the mix phase, you get frustrated, and I've been there. So I wanted to show you what I think is the secret to getting width and clarity in your rock guitars, and you can do this with any EQ and any DAW. It's very, very simple, and once you start to see the power of it, you're going to want to do it more and more and more, and you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Here's a section of a song where you've got overdriven guitars on the left and the right, double guitars, as well as some baritoned tripled guitars, thickening it up, and there's a guitar solo, but I'm thinking mostly about the rhythm guitars, the overdriven guitars, is what I'm focusing on. So take a listen to them. They don't have any EQ on right now. They sound okay, but then I'll show you what they sound like with EQ and how they get more width and clarity. And then I'll literally show you my settings and really the two-step process to make your guitars have more width and clarity. Here we go. So the guitars sound okay, but they just sound mushy. You don't have the definition and the clarity. And so I can push the edges out wider and get more clarity by using strategic EQ. So what I've got is some SSL channels along the top with these guitars, and I'm going to press play and just turn them on so you can hear the difference. You're going to need to have some headphones on or really be listening to your studio monitors in your studio to notice the difference, because you're going to feel it in the stereo spectrum. So listen to the before and after just so you get an idea of what I'm doing, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, here we go. You hear that? Let's do it again, but in reverse. I'll start with the EQ in, and then I'll take it away. Sometimes that's when I notice things, is when you take it away. Here we go. With EQ first, and then I'll take it away. So you notice when I take away the EQ, those overdriven guitars on the left and the right, they just kind of fade away a little bit. They take a step back from the spotlight. They become a little more muted, which is not usually what you want with aggressive rock when they're driving the song. You don't want them to take over the song. That's usually a level thing. But if they're at the right volume and you've panned them, left and right, and you've got them where you want them, but they're not biting and they're not cutting through and the edges are getting lost, you need to do this simple process. So let me show you what's happening here. So the main guitars are these guys here on the left and the right. And the way to get them to have more width is to use complementary EQ carving. So here is the SSL channel on the guitar on the left, and here's the one on the right. I'm just using the EQ here on the SSL, not using any compression. Full disclosure, they both have a high-pass filter that'll kick on, and they both have a cut at 450 hertz to clean them up a little bit. So that'll just clean up the guitars in general. Great idea in general on any kind of guitar stuff, which will give you more room for your bottom end for the kick and the bass. But what makes them have more width is what's happening in the mid-range. So on the guitar on the left, I have a boost, a 3 dB boost at 3.5K. Okay? So it's boosting at 3 dB at 3.5K. Then on the guitar on the right, I have a 3 dB cut at 3.5K. Okay, so where I've featured the guitar on the left a little bit on that same frequency, I've diminished the other guitar on the opposite side. This gives almost a 6 dB swing of difference from left to right. So it's a much more obvious change. You could have boosted one and not boosted the other, and that would have helped. But to boost one and cut the other at the same place is where the magic is happening. Now you'll see the same thing happening. The guitar on the right is featured at 2K. I've got a 3 dB boost at 2K on the guitar on the right. But the guitar on the left, I have taken away 3 dB at 2K. So that's what I would call complementary EQ carving. I'm creating a complementary EQ curve from the left and the right. They complement each other. Where I boost on the right, I cut on the left. Where I boost on the left, I cut on the right. And what you can do is take a listen to, let me select just these two. You take a listen to what the EQ does on these two when I bypass or bring in the EQs. If you're listening on headphones, then you notice that it's pretty drastic. What you're hearing is sameness without the EQ, and then the moment the EQs cut in, they sound different and they sound wider and further apart. That's the secret. When your ears hear something different on the left and the right, they perceive the edges more. The edges are more noticeable, therefore the apparent width of the mix is enhanced. The mix can only get but so wide. I mean, it's all fake. You literally only have a left and a right speaker, and you can't get any wider than that. So the thing is to trick the ear to notice the edges a little bit more, and you do that with having different tones on the left and the right. And in this case, the guitars sounded identical. Had they played a different electric guitar or a different amp or whatever on the opposing side, I would have had an easier time getting these to have width without the need for EQ. In this case, I'm using complementary EQ, just 3 dB intervals. This is a real subtle EQ, but it's a drastic result. Here it is again. Now, this can go further with just even guitars that are on top of each other. This is what's crazy. So I've got the baritone guitars, which are 3, and they are all on top of each other on the left. Okay, I just panned them all left because that's what I wanted to do. But what I've done is some complementary EQ carving on these as well to give them separation. So there's one baritone guitar. Then there is a second baritone guitar, which is a separate pass. And then there is another baritone guitar. If you look at the first two baritones, you're going to see the same pattern as with the overdriven left and right guitars. This baritone has a boost at 870, a 3 dB boost at 870, whereas this baritone has a cut at 870 of 3 dB. This baritone track has a boost at 1.5, and this one has a cut at 1.5. Okay, you can see the pattern here. And then this one on the third one just has a boost at 1.2. It's not complementing any other guitar. It's just where I featured it. And they all have high-pass filters, and they all have a little bit of a notch around the 450 to 500 range. In this case, I took out 550 on the baritone guitars. They were a little muddier there. And when you bring those in, along with the other guitars, you can hear, again, more width and separation. So let's bypass that. Here we go. It's a massive difference. They're being featured more in the mid-range, not just random boosts in the mid-range. These are strategic boosts and cuts to then get the separation. And you do these with guitars on the outside and you get more width. Let's do it with EQ, and then I'll take the EQ away. There it is. Bring it back in context with a mix. And we'll do it one more time where we'll start with the EQ and take it away, because again, sometimes it's easier to tell when it's been taken away. There you go. That's how I like to approach mixing rock guitars for clarity and for width. And it's all about complementary EQ carving. And look what I did. I just did 3 dB increments. This is not extreme boosting or cuts. Very, very conservative, but it adds up from track to track to track. Try it on your next mix. Leave me a comment below the video. Let me know, do you do EQ carving like that? Do you do complementary EQ carving? And if so, do you do it on guitars or do you do it on other instruments? Share your experience below. I'd love to hear what you think and how you've seen it work or not work. And then if you like the video, subscribe, join the list over at therecordingrevolution.com if you want more free mix training and some of my best curated stuff that I don't post anywhere else. Make some great music this weekend. And don't make excuses. Make great music. You have everything you need all ready to make a killer recording and mix. My encouragement for you this weekend is to simply get in there, mess around, make some music, try things out, see what you discover, and most importantly, have fun. We'll see you on another video soon. Take care.